Ladies and gentlemen, hope all is well. In today's video, we have a good one. Another whiteboard video for you guys. In this video, I'm gonna explain to you why those sales techniques that you were taught, maybe it was by a boss, maybe it was by a guru on YouTube, maybe it was by Jordan Belfort. These techniques simply don't work. And this is actually why when you get on that sales call, when you get to that point where you're running people through the sales script, it's hard to get people to convert. You're not getting people to actually buy your shit, and it's not your offer, it's not your market. This time, it's actually your selling ability. So in this video, I'm gonna run you through exactly what to do so that you're not doing the same shit as everyone else, because most of the bullshit that is being taught in terms of how to sell is false. Have you ever had someone tell you, wow, you're a really good salesman? This is actually a bad thing. Let me tell you a story. So once I was on a sales call with this guy, and he was a little bit older. His name was actually Jordan. And this is when I was selling a completely different offer for my business. And I called him up, and I kept him on the phone for a good 30 minutes. And he was trying to get off the phone. He was trying to give me excuses, but I was just looping around these excuses, pretty much keeping him on the phone, trying to get him to give me a yes or a no after barely knowing me, not looking at any sales assets, not really looking at anything I have to offer, just off of my selling ability. This was a form of kind of high pressure sales, and he got really turned off by this. And what he did is he took the phone and instead of saying, okay, bye, thanks for talking, I have to really run, and me looping again, he just hung up on me. This was just one of the examples where someone said, wow, you're a great salesman, but like, if you were such a great salesman, people wouldn't know you're trying to sell them, right? So I'm gonna jump into the reality of sales and some stuff that I've learned selling multiple 5-figure packages, and actually what to do to not come off gross salesy. So I read this book a little bit ago called To Sell is Human. It's by Daniel Pink. I recommend everyone to read this book if you're in sales. What's with this book that's different? This book opened up my eyes a little bit to the reality of sales. They did an experiment in this book. What the experiment was is they asked a bunch of people, what are some common phrases that they relate with salespeople? And some of the common phrases were literally yuck, ew, and pushy. These were like in the top 5. Yuck, ooh, and pushy. This is what people commonly associate with salespeople, right? So let me get this right. If everyone is doing these sales techniques and the consensus is yuck, ooh, and pushy, why would you do the same thing everyone else is doing, right? So in this book, what they did is pretty much what they were telling is back in the 60s, what happened was there were these door-to-door salesmen, and they would go and sell kitchen sponges. And they would learn to use these high pressure sales techniques. They would literally just go into their house and then be like, hey, like you have to buy or else I won't leave. That's the type of shit they would do, right? Over time, this shit evolved into the techniques that were taught by like people, Joe Girard, etc., that were just spread everywhere, right? These techniques, these high pressure techniques of just going into the house and saying, I'm not gonna leave. Obviously, like it's illegal, like you can't do that anymore, but forms of it were translated in sales. Let me give you another example. There's someone called Joe Girard. This is just an example of one of the sales gurus, Joe Girard. And what Joe Girard did is he got the most amount of used car sales ever. Like he has like a world record for that. He set it in 1960 or something. After he hit that year, he stopped selling cars and he started selling sales courses, right? So this guy is using techniques from the 1960s and he was teaching them in like the 90s, early 2000s, right? So what happens, like just to give you an example, some of the techniques this guy was teaching, Joe Girard guy, is he was teaching if someone said they traveled somewhere, you've been there, like pretty much just lying to your prospect. So pretty much if your prospect says, oh, I just went on a vacation to Florida, specific part of Florida, he's like, oh yeah, I was just there too. Oh, I went to Alaska. oh, I've been to Alaska many times. I love Alaska. This is like the stuff he would teach, and he still teaches. I know he still has a few books out. I don't mean to call him out, but he has a few books out, and this is the sort of stuff that he teaches. And again, what I'm trying to allude to is this is the stuff that worked in the 60s, in the 50s, back in the day, kind of like the example I gave with the door-to-door kitchen sponge salesman, right? So all this shit was then passed up along to these other sales gurus, like Joe Girard, like honestly, even like Jordan Belfort in a sense, and they were pretty much taught how to sell in these high pressure ways. These high pressure ways, do they work sometimes? Of course they work sometimes. But the action threshold to get people to make an action, their action threshold is already low when you're using these and implementing these, right? So this is the reality of sales. Now, what's the solution? So if this is the problem, all of these yucky sales techniques, all of this Joe Girard shit, all of this like looping, oh, you gotta just work past the objections, you gotta just keep working and working and working. What is like, this sucks. This is like battling uphill. How do you make sales more of an organic process? That's what we're hoping to do. So what you're hoping to do organically is you're never gonna be looping. You're never gonna be doing that high pressure sales stuff, and you're never gonna come off with that sales tonality that's like, grab your neck. Hey, how you doing? Right? You're gonna come off really relaxed, really chill. There's this quote, and the person who is least excited wins. So pretty much, what a lot of the old sales guys teach is to qualify. Oh yeah, you're gonna love this, you're gonna love this, you're gonna love this. Trying to convince. With you, you're gonna kind of just let them come back, or fall back and kind of let them come to you. People who are talking to salespeople are already interested. Salespeople don't realize this fact. They think that they have to do like this massive sales presentation and this massive thing. People who book a sales call nowadays and actually go through your funnel, these people have seen your content. These people have watched your YouTube videos. These people have maybe read your sales assets. They know who you are and kind of what you're about, right? Google exists. So before, let me give you an example. Before in the 60s, if I wanted to buy a car, I would roll up to the used car salesman lot and Joe Girard would come out and try to sell me a car. Now what I would do is I would go to Google and just look up where to buy a car, or go on Auto Trader and just meet with the guy, right? So these modern day processes are taking out the salesman from the equation. So when people are actually dealing with salesmen, they already know what they're getting themselves into. They've looked at Google reviews, they've looked at your Instagram, they've looked at your Facebook, they've looked at your website. They know who you are most of the time. So what you're gonna be doing with this organic process is you're just gonna be clinging onto that and be very laid back. Hey, like, thanks for showing your interest. I guess, why are you interested, right? Instead of trying to put yourself out there and really like pitch, right? Lay it back, don't be excited, just be chill. Yeah, no, I guess what interested you in, filling out the form? Oh, you're interested in, losing some weight? Oh, okay. Why are you interested in losing weight? Got you. Okay, so you want to do that. Why that? Right? So take that's one scenario. Second scenario is, oh yeah, so like this program's really gonna help you. It's so amazing. So everyone's getting great. Everyone's like, oh, everyone loves it. This guy loves it. This guy loves it. This guy loves it. Have you seen the testimonials? Everyone knows that feeling when they've been like at like a flea market and then like a Mexican guy has caught them, and that Mexican guy is just like not letting you leave until you buy shit. That's the feeling that most salesmen are operating out of. So come to this organic process, realize that people have done the research if you're talking to them, qualify them instead of being qualified yourself, and try not to pitch. Just relax, ask questions, run them through, pretty much qualifying questions, get to know their case, get to see if you can fucking help them in the first place before actually going ahead and just making a pitch. There's a lot of shit that you don't realize. Let me give you another example, right? Let's say I walk into a knife store, right? And I go up to the salesman and I say, or let's say I am the salesman at the knife store, and a lady comes in and comes to me. This lady tells me, hey, what are your sharpest knives here? Do you guys have sharp knives here? The salesman has two options. He can either say, oh my God, yeah, we have the sharpest knives in the world. Or he can say, I guess, what are you looking for? Ask a question, right? If I say, yeah, we have the sharpest knives in the world, what if the lady is looking for a knife for her child's toy set, for her child to use? Do you think she's gonna want the sharpest knives in the world for her child? So you can see how you would already assume that you can go with that easy option, that easy opt-out. Yeah, we have the sharpest knives in the world, without diagnosing first. So the problem is to not do this shit that everyone did before, that pushy, yuck, ooh, yep, we have the best cars in the world, yep, come buy our used cars. To diagnosing, you're diagnosing. So what you're doing is you're diagnosing for that 95% of the sale, and then you're providing a solution only for that 5% instead of the latter, right? If you got value from this video, please leave a thumbs up. I appreciate it. Thank you for watching.